Hello guys, this is Amol Khedkar. I welcome you to this video. Today I'm going to talk about the topic that you see on your screen. This is from the Investopedia website and it is about the One Belt One Road OBOR initiative of China, okay? And why that is China's ticket to the superpower status, okay? This is a pretty important article in world politics, and many people wanted me to make this video, so here it is. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel as I upload these kind of geopolitical and world economics news on a daily basis. You really don't want to miss out on any of this, so don't forget to subscribe. So let's get started. Yeah, the OBOR project is literally just a massive and humongous thing that China has started, and to be honest, this is just so big that no other country can even challenge this. It's just madness. So, One Belt, One Road OBOR, the brainchild of Chinese President Xi Jinping, is an ambitious economic development and commercial project that focuses on improving connectivity and cooperation among multiple countries spread across the continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe. Imagine this, they are literally just connecting the entire three continents. Almost all the Eastern European and Central European countries are on board with China. There are many African countries that are literally in the pocket of China. Okay, I mean, China has made so much investment into Africa that there are many countries right now that will literally do anything that China says. Okay, and even in Asia, China has been encircling India for long time now. Okay, China has investments in Nepal, in Pakistan, in Myanmar, in Sri Lanka, in most of the Southeast Asia, right? The ASEAN countries. Then Central Asia, we have Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, all those countries, Tajikistan. Then you have the Middle Eastern countries, you have Iraq, Iran, what else? Syria, Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, you name it. I mean, China is just everywhere. All roads lead to China. That's just what this project is all about. Okay, so I've made videos about what exactly the CPEC, why China wants the Nepal's Communist Party to remain in power. Okay, China recently just saved the Nepal's Communist Party from collapsing. I've made a video about this on this channel. Please don't forget to check it out. Okay, then China has built an entire port in Sri Lanka. China literally grabbed the control of that port, and now it is using that port for all of its maritime shipments. Okay, China has been in even Myanmar. Okay, all the Southeast Asian nations are literally just beholden to China. China has literally just gone all in with this project, and to be honest with you, you just cannot counter this. India does not have the potential to counter this. To be very honest with you, even US does not have the potential to counter this at this point. Okay, so. I'll just read a few more things here. Dubbed as the project of the century by the Chinese authorities, OBOR spans about 78 countries. Okay, the project of the century spans around 78 countries. OBOR is a project that focuses on improving connectivity and cooperation. Okay, OBOR scope has expanded over the years to include new territories and development initiatives. Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan are positive about OBOR owing to massive investments by China in local transmission projects in these nations. So China has been following this kind of trap strategy. Okay, so it gives a whole lot of loans to many countries in Africa, in Central Europe, in Eastern Europe, in Central Asia, in the Middle East, in South Asia, in ASEAN. I mean, you name it. China is just everywhere. Okay, and what they do is that once you get the loan from China, then China says that no need to pay the loan now. Let our countries come inside. This is the exact same strategy that America has been using for long time now. Okay, America has been doing the exact same thing in every country. Okay, now China is employing the exact same tactic. Okay, how One Belt One Road works. Initially announced in 2013 with the purpose of restoring the ancient Silk Route that connected Asia and Europe, the project scope has been expanded over the years to include new territories and development initiatives. Okay, so China just wants to revive the old Silk Route. So Silk Route was, if you don't know what that means, it was a road from China and also from India. It also connected parts of India to go to Europe, And why it was called a silk route is because silk was the main ingredient that was transported with that. After some time, even it was called a spice route, right? Because many spices from India were transported via that route as well. So China just wants to revive that. Okay, also called the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI). The project involves building a big network of roadways, railways, maritime ports, power grids, oil and gas pipelines, and associated infrastructure projects. I mean, come on, this is like insane. You cannot just you know it's very hard to even comprehend the magnanimity of this project. Okay, just look at this. I will read this one more time. The project involves building a big network of roadways. China is going to just build roads to 78 countries. Railways, China is going to connect all these countries by railways. Maritime ports, China has been doing that with Gwadar port. Okay, then there's another port in Sri Lanka. Maritime ports, power grids. China is literally supplying all these countries with electricity. Okay, oil and gas pipelines. Like the entire energy market, China is going to take it into its own hands, and associated infrastructure projects. So anything that is infrastructure related, like schools, colleges, universities, what else, bridges, what train stations, anything that you can think about infrastructure, China is just going to do that. Okay, this is how massive this project is. It's just insane. The amount of it is just insane. Okay, the project covers two parts. The first is called the Silk Road Economic Belt, which is primarily land based and is expected to connect China with Central Asia, okay, Eastern Europe and Western Europe. So the Silk Road Economic Belt is just going to connect China with Central Asia, okay, which is the all the Stan countries, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, those countries, okay. Then you have what is Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is all the former Soviet bloc countries, which are Poland, what else, Ukraine, Belarus, all the Baltic countries, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. Then you have the Balkan countries, Serbia, the former Yugoslavian countries, Serbia, what else, Croatia and Bosnia, all those countries. I mean, this is just a very big thing, okay. Then you have Eastern Europe and Western Europe, Central Asia, Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Western Europe is all the countries that we all know about in which are in Europe, okay, which is like Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Britain, Ireland, Portugal, all those Europe as well. The second is called 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, which is a sea-based and is expected to will China's southern coast to the Mediterranean, okay. It is just going to connect China's southern coast to the Mediterranean, okay, which is called 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. And then it is also going to connect it with Africa, Southeast Asia, and Central Asia, okay. Africa is just a very big thing, and China has been building, ports in Djibouti. Djibouti is a very important location in geopolitics, okay. It is a very small port on the strait of Saudi Arabia, okay, and that's why China has been building a huge amount of ports in Djibouti. Then in Southeast Asia, obviously, the ASEAN countries and Central Asia. The names are confusing as the belt is actually a network of roads and road is a sea route. Okay, so the belt is actually a network of roads and road is a sea route. So the terminology is different in China, okay. They contain the following six economic corridors. So the economic corridors are these six. New Eurasian land bridge, which connects Western China to Western Russia. Okay, so Western China is what there's the Xinjiang province. Then there's Tibet in below the Xinjiang province, and there is Western Russia as well. Western Russia is just entire all the part of Russia that is in Europe. Okay, so that includes Moscow, Leningrad, and all those places which are literally the hub in Russia. Okay, so that's the new Eurasian land bridge. And the China Mongolia Russia corridor, which consists northern China to eastern Russia via Mongolia. Okay, so northern China is China has an inner Mongolia province. Then it goes from inner Mongolia to Mongolia and then to Russia, to eastern Russia. Eastern Russia is the Siberia and all of that area in eastern Russia. Okay, that is the second corridor. The China Central Asia West Asia corridor, which connects Western China to Turkey via Central and West Asia. Okay, so this goes from Western China to Turkey. Okay, Turkey is the country that connects Asia and Europe. Okay, so this is going from Western China to Turkey via Central and West Asia. So West Asia is all the Middle Eastern countries, like Iraq, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, all those countries, and also Central Asia like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. The China Indochina Peninsula corridor, which connects southern China to Singapore via Indochina. Okay, well, just look at this. It's just so magnanimous. It is just so big that no wonder China is going to be the superpower of the entire world. You just cannot deny that. Okay, look at this, which connects southern China to Singapore via Indochina. Okay, so it is connecting southern China, which has all the Shenzhen and all those regions, to Singapore via Indochina. Indochina is what? Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Okay, the China-Pakistan corridor, which connects the southwestern China through Pakistan to Arabian Sea routes, the CPEC. I've made videos about this. China-Pakistan economic corridor, which connects the southwestern China through Pakistan to Arabia Sea routes. Okay, the Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar corridor, which connects southern China to India via Bangladesh and Myanmar. So India has been a vocal opponent of this initiative right from the start, because India definitely feels that this is, a very big blow to its supremacy in the South Asian region. Okay, so just look at the countries in SARC. Okay, South Asian Alliance for Regional Cooperation, the SARC countries. Okay, out of them, many countries are on board with China. Okay, so Pakistan, Nepal, there is one more, like now Sri Lanka, right? Maldives. All of these are in the pocket of China at this point. So only Bhutan is with India at this point. Okay, Bangladesh, I don't know specifically, but even Bangladesh might be with China, and because Bangladesh does not have a good history with India. Okay, so just Bhutan is with India at this point, and all the other countries are with China. Okay, so which connects southern China to India via Bangladesh. Just look at this. Even Bangladesh is on board with China and Myanmar. So these are the 6 corridors that China wants to build. Okay. Additionally, the maritime Silk Road connects coastal China to the Mediterranean via Singapore, Malaysia, the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, and the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so this is just insane. Okay, the expanse of this project is just madness. Special considerations: OBOR's importance to China. OBOR is of prime significance to China as it aims to boost its domestic growth and is also a part of the country's strategy for economic diplomacy. By connecting the less developed border regions like Xinjiang with neighboring nations, China expects to bump up economic activity. OBOR is expected to open up and create new markets for Chinese goods. It would also enable the manufacturing powerhouse to gain control of cost effective routes to export materials easily. Okay, any excess capacity in terms of production can be channelized effectively to regions along Obor routes. China has announced investments over $1 trillion in various infrastructure projects and is funding them by offering low cost loans to participating countries. Exactly as I said, the debt trap strategy that China has been employing. So there are many African nations right now who are heavily indebted to China at this point. Okay, so that's why you can see the rising trend of Chinese people going to Africa now. Okay, so recently there was an article where Nigerians were discriminated in Shanghai. Okay, because people from Africa are now going to China. They are not going to America, or they are not going to any Western countries. They are now going to China. So definitely China is not mincing any words here. China is definitely the next global center of the world. Many participating countries like Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan are positive about Obor due to massive investments by China and local transmission projects in these nations. Landlocked Nepal has recently joined Obor by signing a deal that will help it improve cross-border connectivity with China. And Pakistan is set to benefit from the 46 billion CPEC that will connect southwestern China to and through Pakistan, allowing access to Arabian Sea routes. So look at this. China is just encircling India as if there's no tomorrow. Okay, and this is a very big threat for Indian diplomacy, for Indian sovereignty in that region. Okay, while China continues to pitch Obor as an all-inclusive project for regional development, other nations perceive it as a strategic move by the Asian powerhouse to attain significance and control at a regional level and to play a larger role at a global level by building and controlling a China-focused trading network. Absolutely true. I mean, there's no doubt that China is just going to gain ground over here. There's no doubt that China just wants to, increase its influence over the entire world. Okay, I mean, this is such a massive project that you cannot even. I mean, only the countries in Americas are excluded from it. Okay, and to be honest with you, the future is Asian, right? The entire economic activity is just going to be in Asia after just 5 to 10 years. Okay, so America will not even be relevant at that point. Okay, so America, what are the major countries in the continent of America, right? Argentina, which is literally in which has literally had so many recessions now that Argentina is like in perpetual decline at this point. Okay, Argentina is, it's a country that has had 100-year recession so far. Okay, then you have Brazil. Brazil again, there is a documentary called At the Edge of Democracy. Okay, which just tells you how completely chaotic and completely mismanaged Brazil is. Okay, the last two presidents of Brazil were literally were forced out due to corruption charges. Okay, then you have Mexico. Mexico is just run by drug cartels. I mean, come on. I've made videos about this where I say that Los Angeles is just has just become like Narcos 2.0. Okay, so Mexico is just run by drug cartels. There is the Sinaloa cartel. There are other cartels. Okay, and there are illegal drugs, illicit drugs. All of them just come to America somehow. Okay, America. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. I've made so many videos about it, saying that America is just in a perpetual state of decline. And then you have Canada. Canada, I'm living in this country right now. To be honest with you, Canada does not even have the potential to stand in front of China. Okay, China is a humongous power. Canada is just not even a middle power; it's a small power. Okay, Canada's economy is entirely dependent on America, and that's why Canada does not have a say on the world stage. So forget about the American continent. Okay, forget about North America and South America, because that the future is not over here. Okay, the future is in Asia, because the future is just completely Asian. That's why even the Eastern European countries, the Central European countries, North African countries, Sub-Saharan African countries, Middle Eastern countries, ASEAN countries, what then Northeastern Asian countries like Korea or Japan or what, Taiwan. All of them are just lining up in front of China. Even Taiwan, okay, I mean, even Taiwan is willing to be a part of this project because it sees a whole lot of economic advantage to it. Just look at this. China's power is so huge that it is even able to convince Taiwan. Taiwan is the age-old enemy of China. Okay, Taiwan and China are like the completely polar opposites of each other. But even then, China has convinced Taiwan to be a part of this project. So no wonder China is just going to rule the entire world in the near future. Okay, there's no doubt about that. With US President Donald Trump posing challenges for Asian nations through measures like trade tariffs, China sees this venture as an opportunity to emerge as a regional leader. In the future, we may see a boost in the Chinese yuan with increased usage in the OBOR region. Definitely true. Okay, I have made a video about this where I say that how much of China, how much of America China owns. Okay, please have a look at that video. I talk very exclusively in that video about why exactly China owns America and how China is just going to keep on owning America as much as possible. Okay, so and China wants to make its currency as the global currency. I mean, you cannot. It's just as plain as mirror over here. Okay, China really wants to make its yuan as the global currency with increased usage in the OBOR regions. So right now, if you see in Africa, many countries use franc. Okay, franc as the local currency. Some of them use the US dollar. In Eastern Europe, many of them use euro. Right, in Central Europe, they use euro. Then in Iraq, Libya, or in Serbia, in Syria, Iraq, Syria, or in Jordan, Lebanon, or Israel, they have their own currencies. Okay, some of them use US dollar. Okay, but China, what China's plan is now is that it just wants to increase the trading of yuan in all these OBOR region countries, and that is something that is bound to happen because China's grip over these countries is so big that they just cannot refuse China. If China comes over to their countries tomorrow and just says that now all of you are just going to start trading in yuan, many of these countries cannot refuse China. Why is that? Because China has given them so much, and they are just heavily indebted to China. Okay, the loans that all these countries are going to have towards China are just astronomical. Okay, it's just maddeningly insane. No other country can even match something like this. So definitely the future is Asian, but to be honest with you, China really needs a counter in this region. Okay, and now let me tell you one more important thing. Okay, there were only four countries that opposed China in this entire madness of OBOR. Okay, which were the four countries? Okay, only four countries in the entire world really even have the guts to stand in front of China and look it into the eye and tell it that this is not how things are going to work here. Okay, first and foremost we have America. Definitely America is the reigning superpower, so America will never want China to grab its status. Okay, so definitely America will challenge China with tooth and nail. Okay, because America does not want to lose its superpower status no matter what. Okay, definitely China is going to have a hard time trying to surpass America. Then you have Germany. Okay, Germany is the second country. Germany is the biggest economy in Europe. Okay, Germany's economy is so big that even the economies of Britain and France together cannot surpass Germany. Okay, Germany is very big, and Germany is equal to European Union, and European Union is equal to Germany. Okay, so Germany is definitely not going to bow down in front of China, at least as of now. Okay, third country, Japan. Japan and China are definitely age old rivals. Japan has been trying to get a hold of China for centuries, millennia. Okay, so Japan is definitely not going to bow in front of China very soon. And the fourth country is India. Okay, India is the only country in the entire region, in the entire Asia Pacific region, that even has the guts to stand in front of China. Okay, no other country in that entire region even has the capacity to stand in front of China. India has everything. It has huge population, it has huge land area, it has huge economy. Okay, so that's why America is not supporting India. Okay, even Japan has started building the bullet trains in India, right? There's a bullet train that goes from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, that is built by Japan. Okay, so Japan is heavily investing into India. America is also trying to support India in all these endeavors. Why? Because it wants to counter China. China is a very big threat to the entire world. Remember this. Okay, and even Europe and India partnership is gaining ground now. Even Germany has started investing into India. Okay, because China, as you know, it's a one party system. CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, runs the entire country of China. So it's a very authoritarian system. Okay, the last protest that happened in China was in Tiananmen Square in 1989. Okay, literally 30 years back was the last protest that happened in China. Dissent is absolutely crushed in China without any mercy. Okay, imagine this. So that's why the world is very afraid of China. They cannot just let China go loose, and because they want to counter China somehow, and India is the only country that even has the capacity to counter China. That's why all these countries are rallying behind India. Okay, so this was my analysis of this article. This is a very important thing in geopolitical news nowadays, because China is literally everywhere. Okay, you cannot go even a single day without hearing about China. So if you like my analysis of this article, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also like, comment and share this video, because even other people need to know about what exactly is the OBR project. So please share this video, and also please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.